In mid-1940, in this Nazi-annexed area of Poland, the Nazi regime established the first of the Auschwitz camps. The chilling writing on its main gates translated as "work makes you free," and it could not have been further from the truth. This was a camp to enslave, imprison, and exterminate. Polish political prisoners and German criminals initially filled these converted artillery barracks, and it was a prison that grew ever larger through the forced labor of its captives. Now, in this area of the camp was the feared Block 11. This was a punishment facility, a prison within a prison. Connected to it, the Black Wall, in front of which groups of prisoners would be shot dead. Now, here in Block 10, this is where female prisoners were subjected to horrific sterilization experiments. But what happened at a later edition of the camp was even more horrifying. Victims here were gassed and then burned. Now, the killing expanded on an almost industrial scale at Auschwitz II in nearby Birkenau. Now, the construction started here in October 1941, and it was designed to hold 100,000 inmates, and with 4 major crematoriums each with gas chambers. As prisoners arrived from across Europe by train, they were immediately split into 2 groups, those able to work and those who would be murdered. The elderly, infirm, children, and the mothers were sent directly to the gas chambers. Twins and families with genetic disorders often escaped the gas chambers, only to be subjected to the murderous and mutilating experiments of SS Captain Dr. Josef Mengele. Now, prisoners were allowed to bring a small number of treasured items with them to Auschwitz, but they were confiscated on arrival. Here, in an area of the camp known as Canada, prisoners' precious belongings were catalogued and the stolen valuables then sent back to Germany. Even in death, Auschwitz prisoners were robbed with hair and teeth removed from their bodies. Forced labor was the focus at Auschwitz III, which was created in 1942. Prisoners deemed fit enough to avoid the gas chambers worked producing rubber and fuels at a nearby factory owned by IG Farben. That is the same company that held the patent on the deadly Zyklon B gas used in the death camps. Now, eventually, this camp became the center of a network of forced labor sites, 45 in total, scattered across hundreds of kilometers. Auschwitz was more than a camp. It was a nightmare, smeared over Nazi-occupied Europe and leaving an indelible stain. Atika Schubert, CNN.